Is NaNoWriMo worth it? Hi there, I'm Tom. I publish books as T.H. Willoughby, and I was having a conversation with someone recently which got me thinking about NaNoWriMo and what it's really for. For those of you who don't know, this is National Novel Writing Month. It takes place every November, and the goal is to write 50,000 words in 30 days. I did this myself in 2018, and I spent a good few months beforehand doing some planning for it, and that meant that by the time I sat down to write the first word, I knew exactly what I had to write every single day of the month, how many words I had to write. If you plan to write every single day, that is 1,667, which will get you just above the target at, well, somewhere between 50,000 and 50,030 words. And I had basically a goal that I had to reach every 2 days. So day 1, I would write half of it, day 2 I'd write the other half, and then I'll be able to start on a different section the next day. And I just did that full on for the entire duration. And I got really fast at writing these sections. I could sometimes do the entire 1,600, 1,700 words in half an hour. And it got me the first draft of my work in progress, which I'm just now finishing. And the reason I'm just now finishing it, or at least getting close to getting it fully shaped up at about 90,000 words and going off to alpha readers hopefully soon, the reason it's taken so long is because I kind of burned out right after I finished, like, the last word. Part of this is because my day job is incredibly busy in November. It's very stressful, and so that was kind of burning me out, and I usually take a couple of weeks in December to recover. So doing all of this writing on top of that was just like more of the same. But also, just writing at that intensity for so long, it kind of, I think it would have burnt me out all on its own. And it might be that if I didn't have a day job and if I just had to write 1,500 words a day or 3,000 words a day or however many I decide to write, then it would all be fine. But I'm guessing the vast majority of people who do NaNoWriMo are not full-time writers, and they do have a day job. And in fact, most people who we would consider as full-time writers actually do have other things that they do as well, such as teaching, giving talks, guest appearances and so on. But at least all of that is writing centered, and they can control how much of that they can do in NaNoWriMo month in November, so that it's easier to kind of do this. So I guess number one is, if if you feel like you are getting burnt out during the process of this, maybe take stock and work out whether you want to slow down or not. The other reason I wanted to talk about this is because 50,000 words is a bit of an odd number. I think it's roughly around novella length, so if you've got a novella you want to write, then that might be good to get draft 1 done in November. Or if you've got a few shorter works that you want to do, you might be able to do, say, 3 or 4 of those in November, and it might be good for that. But the title, well, the title says Novel Writing Month. I'm not going to say that everyone who participates has to write a novel, but since that's what my experience of it was, that's what I'm going to be talking about. And I found that 50,000 words was a bit of an odd length for a novel. It was kind of half a novel. And the way I coped with this was by basically writing a novel that was extremely fast-paced and had no character building, and I've been going back afterwards and adding in all the important stuff I missed. What I basically did was write a pulp book that's about 10 times longer than any pulp book has a right to be. So that's kind of how I did it. And I think the 50,000 word limit, or target, is mainly because of the limitations that the competition, or I don't know what it is really. I'm going to call it a competition because I can't think of a better word. But if you think of it, you don't want it to run longer than a month, because it's designed to get people into writing, or into writing consistently. And if you say you can do this for 2 weeks, then you might get a lot of people join in, but it might not be long enough to convince them to carry on afterwards. If you say we're going to do it for 2 months, then you'll get far fewer people taking it up initially and far fewer people going through to the end. And as I said before, if there are other people who get burnt out after 30 days, that's going to also have an effect on the number of people who complete it. So you're kind of stuck with 30 days, and if you're stuck with 30 days, you want a realistic amount for people who aren't used to writing this much. You want a semi-realistic amount for those people to hit. And like 50,000 words is, I would say, on the upper edge of that limit. I was speaking to someone the other day who said they tried it 1 year, they managed 20,000 words in 3 weeks, and they couldn't work out how to proceed with their novel, and they don't think they're going to try NaNoWriMo again. And that's completely fair. Like, I suspect the number of people for whom NaNoWriMo is useful is a lot smaller than the number of people who want to become writers. Or even if they don't want to become writers, then the number of people who would like to try out writing in their spare time. So you end up with this limit of 30 days and 50,000 words just because that's kind of the way the numbers almost naturally fall. And that means, I think, the contest as it's laid out is possibly, as I said just now, it's very, very specific to the kinds of people who not only take part but get to the end, and maybe to the people who, having gotten to the end, will then carry on writing. And I don't think many people, even if they carry on writing, will carry on writing at the same pace as they did during the contest. So you've got all of these factors about what it is and who it's for, and if it's something that sounds interesting to you, then depending on your style of writing, I say either spend a couple of weeks plotting and give it a go, or just like start on November fast and give it a go if you are pure free writing. But don't get too disheartened if you don't really manage it, because I've said this before, but any word you write is an achievement over a word that you didn't write. And so if you write 30,000 words, that's huge. If you write 20,000 words, that's huge. Even if you write, say, 5,000 words, and that's more than you've written a month any time before, that's still huge. That's like amazing. So I think it's really best if taken with a pinch of salt and tailored to how you work and how you think and how you write and all of that. And to be honest, I was thinking about, with my current, or my next work in progress, which I've just plotted out, I was thinking about trying like a personal version of it in July and seeing how far I could get and whether I could replicate the 50,000 words. But after the conversation I had the other day and the thoughts that I've been having since then, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to aim for 50,000 words. I will lower that to 25,000 words. I might still go for the very fast-paced, slimmed-down pulp version and just do it over 2 months, because I think that works really well, being able to say, okay, as I'm going through, I'm noticing that this plot has problems, but I'm not going to spend hours each day fixing them. That's what editing's for. So I think that aspect of it is really useful. But yeah, the speed maybe not so much. And I would actually be really interested if anyone below has any experience with NaNoWriMo, whether you've tried it, whether you succeeded, whether it's something you want to try. Let me know in the comments, and hopefully we can get some interesting perspectives which aren't mine. With regards to my own current work in progress, not my next one, which I'm still calling Plant Book, editing is actually going fairly well, although it's a lot slower than I thought it would be. I put down 5 writing sessions for the section I'm doing now, which is adding actions and dialogue tags to break up large pieces of text. I've basically done those 5 sessions. That's about a week's worth of work for me, and I'm only halfway through. And the pace that I'm going through it is really variable depending on how well I wrote each scene the first time round, and how big the scene is, and how long the dialogue sequences are that I've got to break up. So that's what I'll be doing next week as well. And then I was listening to Writing Excuses. I tend to do that on my walks, and one of the episodes had this throwaway line of if you have a lot of oh, I've just forgotten the word. That's not good. If you've got a lot of information to give to the reader, then break it up. Don't do it all at once. Break it up and just do it immediately before they need it. And then I went through some of my scenes. I'm like, when I wrote that, I absolutely just dumped it all there, and it doesn't need to all be in that place. So that's something I've got to do. Hopefully that one will only take me 1 week, because there's far fewer info dumps than that is dialogue. So maybe one day, maybe 1 week, it depends how long it takes me to find suitable locations for them. And I have been actually deleting some of the info dumps I've done, because some of it's just not needed. And then I still need to do the proper character arcs and character developments and making sure the plot's correctly paced. So a lot of work there, and I keep missing my deadlines on these, so maybe end of July is my new target, I think. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. I hope some of this has been at least thought-provoking, if not interesting, and hope to see you in the comments. Until next time, have a really great day. Bye.